guess I missed that email. The computer's not too reliable, you know.
Oh.
Well, it's getting on in years.
Still the old one?
Yeah.
God, that must be practically defunct by now. You can use mine, I brought it.
Thanks. But all we have is eggs and cereal, so we'll have to meet you with that. Unless you want to wait store. 11:30.
Eggs and cereal then.
I haven't seen snow like that for 3 years.
Not since you were home last, I suppose.
No.
It's been pretty cold this winter. There was already about 6 inches on the ground before this last storm, and it's sticking. One of the neighbors helped me with the driveway, thank God.
Gosh, shoveling. I hadn't thought about it.
Well, you'll have to get back in the habit. It takes hours to shovel that thing.
I have to wonder whose idea it was to make that driveway as long as it is. It's surrounded by trees. It's not even impressive. But then, I guess those trees weren't there.
Yeah, servants in those days. They didn't have to think about being practical.
Well, I can help now.
Yeah, I suppose you can.
Well, yeah, shouldn't I?
Uh-huh. I usually borrow the snowblower from down the street.
Oh, which down the street?
Hotchford's.
Oh,
They've been very nice about it.
have they really?
Yes, very helpful.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it.
So, how have you been?
I'm alright. Not great. I mean, not exactly coming to pieces. Not yet, anyway. What about you?
I've been all right, holding it together. Like you, I guess.
I mean, I was okay before the job went. I'm still okay, just need to take care of myself.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry
For?
about the funeral.
Oh?
I meant to come home.
Well, I'm sure Dad didn't mind. It's not like you can sit up in the coffin at your own funeral and see the number of people who come to see you off.
No, but, you know,
Maybe.
I meant to come home. Honestly, I just couldn't. I mean, I was trying to hold on to a job, and I knew I would lose it if I took all that time off. I'm sorry.
Just don't worry about it. Do you want some tea?
Sure.
We'll get some. What are you doing? What? Here's your tea.
Oh, thanks.
It's gonna get cold now.
You moved the desk. It used to be over here by the front windows.
I know.
Mom liked it here.
We had to move it when we moved Dad's bed in here.
His bed.
Yes, his hospital bed. Can't drag one of those things up that narrow staircase, you know.
It's not narrow. It was the height of luxury in 1846.
Well, they didn't have mechanically operated hospital beds in 1846. They were still bleeding people then, for God's sake.
They weren't, actually.
Look, all I'm saying is that when Dad decided he wanted to be treated at home, we had to make space. And I haven't had time to move all the stuff back into place yet. I'm glad there's not a commode sitting in that corner.
A what? A grown-up potty trainer?
You don't know anything about taking care of sick people, do you?
You know about like the flu and stuff? I've taken care of sick people. I took care of you when you had mono, for God's sake. I was 13. I just don't like washed out flowers. Every time. Invariably.
There are probably more important things to worry about than interior decorating.
They're so pale, it's like someone painted the picture and then dumped their water glass all over it. You wouldn't want sick people to look at something that actually had some color in it, that might be slightly cheerful.
It's probably meant to soothe people. And besides, Dad wasn't in the hospital. He was here.
Did he die in here? In this room?
Yes.
Were the colors soothing enough, do you think?
Cream and white with highlights of dark brown is generally accepted and pretty soothing.
I'm not sure I really ever liked this room after Mom had it painted. He always thought her taste was too modern. He wanted everything to stay the same, just like when he was a kid. I think he reminded me of her sometimes.
He gave a damn. He was Dad.
Yeah, exactly. He gave a damn about everything, including a lot of things that were none of his business.
He was too sick to care about all sorts of trivial crap.
Oh, really? That must have been a change, because I remember he was obsessed with trivialities. That and money.
Forgetting booze. That was off limits, of course, when he was sick. And he didn't have much scope for making money while he was tied to the bed. Or saving it.
Maybe not, but I'm sure he was feeling the loss and stuff. He certainly never stopped complaining about it. You would have thought he was paying for my own college tuition out of his own pocket the way he went on.
You paid for both of our living expenses.
Mom's inheritance paid for most of it. And believe me, Dad did not contribute towards my loan.
He didn't pay any of mine either. I didn't expect him to.
Oh, I wouldn't have taken a penny if you'd offered it. Besides, you quit.
I know.
So where'd you move the stuff out?
What?
You said you moved the rest of the stuff out. What else is in here besides the bed and the toilet thing?
Various pieces of medical equipment. Had to have an IV in towards the end. It was all either rented or brought in from the hospice. I sent it back when it was done. And I brought some of his stuff down from his room, so I had to bring that back upstairs.
Oh. I haven't been upstairs yet. I think I'll look.
You're going to go through those floorboards if you don't watch out!
My room!
Yeah.
There's nothing in it.
Well, you didn't expect us to keep waiting for you to come back, did you?
You clearly don't need it. You haven't used it for anything.
But we might have.
But you don't. There's nothing in there but wallpaper and dust bunnies.
Well, you certainly weren't using it.
What does that got to do with anything?
You haven't set foot in this house for more than 3 years.
But it's been my room for 24 years. You don't even need it for storage. You have the attic and the cellar and the barn for that.
It's falling down. You can't keep anything else in there.
So is this house, but as far as I can tell, you still live here. You left it alone the entire time I was at school. I don't get it.
We knew you were coming back then.
So what, you thought I would never come back? Not once?
Well, you certainly did your best to give us that impression.
What the hell, Jen? You labor day and night in the service of our beloved bastard of a father, and yet you still have time to dismantle your sister's room, from the ceiling to the floor, right down to the rug.
Should I have left that once I moved everything else?
It was a heavy rug. It couldn't have been that easy to lug that around, and I'm pretty fucking sure Dad wasn't there to help you.
He didn't know anything about it. He was down here the entire time.
Yeah, I bet he didn't notice a thing.
Believe me, he wouldn't have cared if I told him that I sold every last stick out of your room. He was happy to see you out of this house as I was.
Yeah, but he didn't try to kick me out.
He didn't want you back in it.
He didn't ask you to dismantle my room.
Yes, he did.
Why didn't you tell him you were doing it?
He didn't remember.
He wasn't in his right mind. He didn't know what he was saying.
No, he was. He was in his right mind when he told me to take apart your room. He wasn't in his right mind when I was moving the stuff around.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. If he was in his right mind when he told you to take apart my room, then you should have told him when he was back to normal. If he asked you, just to please your poor sick daddy.
No, I didn't. I didn't do it because he asked me. I did it because I wanted to.
nothing in there either.
I can still sleep there.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the floorboards in my room are just as hard without a rug on top of them. At least they have the advantage of familiarity.
You can sleep in Dad's room.
No.
Or Mom's.
No.
Fine, sleep on the couch then.
I don't want to.
Well, then there's always the barn or the woods.
Don't be facetious.
You aren't?
Where is the stuff?
I sold some of it.
What?
We needed the money.
Sold it.
Yeah, pretty much everything except the lamp.
Why?
I told you, we needed the money. Besides, it's not like anyone was using the guest room. The nurse made house calls, but she wasn't spending the night or anything.
Not the guest room. My room.
Oh, I meant the stuff in the guest room.
Where is my stuff? My stuff, as in my stuff that was in my room.
Up in the attic.
Did you really sell the stuff in the guest room?
Yeah, I told you.
Where?
That antique shop at the junction of Route 84 and the Boston Post Road.
That place? Ye old New England attic? The one with the wooden cow and the spinning wheel out front?
The very one.
That place is surrounded by fucking plastic flamingos.
And
Why?
I told you we needed the money.
Badly enough to sell our furniture to the trashiest antique dealer from here to Hartford? That place is as antique as Velveeta cheese.
Come on.
No, I bet you the stuff they get in is shipped from Taiwan 2 days before it goes on sale. Or stolen from old ladies in wheelchairs.
Oh, sure. They gave me $150 for that bed and $200 for the trunk. Plus all the odds and ends they bought up. I looked up all the prices online. They didn't cheat me.
That bed had to be worth at least $300.
It had rust spots. It was an old brass bed, not a Ford poster with a connection to George Washington.
You should have told them that he had slept in it. They probably would have known the difference.
You're not getting it, or would you like me to say it again? We needed the money.
It's our stuff. It's our family stuff. You can't just go selling it without asking me.
Well, you certainly weren't here to ask.
Did you ask Dad? Did you tell him that you were selling off all of our family heirlooms?
It weren't heirlooms. It was just a bunch of old junk.
Dad's mom, our grandmother, slept in that bed. Someone in our family used that trunk. There was a beer stein in there that our great-grandfather brought back all the way from Germany.
And it was
you
ugly
just-
as all hell. We needed cash, all right? There was nothing sentimental about the stuff in that room, Matilda.
Yeah, right.
It was cash in hand, and we
I know! We needed the money. Who is we? Why did you need the money? Dad had health insurance. And you have a job. Doesn't that pay the grocery bills? Plus, I don't think Dad was eating much with a tumor pressing against his
Shut
stomach.
up.
Well, what did you need the money for? Gas bills? Electricity? Certainly not fresh paint. What did you need money for so badly? Cash for so badly that you had to sell stuff that Dad would have given his eye teeth to hold on to.
His eye teeth, don't exaggerate.
No, he would. Even when the company went under, he didn't let a scrap pass the front door. He sold the car, and he sold
He
the
was the
land.
one who
and
needed it, all right? It wasn't for me.
Needed it for what?
It's none of your business. You weren't here. You don't know what he wanted or needed. You don't know.
You find him booze?
What?
You were buying him booze, weren't you? He sent you down to the package store just like you always did behind Mom's
Didn't
back.
always. I said no sometimes.
Yeah, but most of the time you went. And what's his face at the counter never asked for your ID. Bet that hasn't been a problem for a while now.
It wasn't just for booze. He couldn't drink all the time.
I have difficulty believing that even terminal cancer could put a lid on Dad's capacity to swallow liquor. Certainly didn't the first time he was diagnosed. You would slip him a bottle when we been to visit him in the hospital. How old were we? 15 and 17?
Almost.
I suppose you bought him cigarettes as well. Let's see how that would add up. Pack of cigarettes per day and a bottle of Jack Daniels on the side. I don't think there's any medical insurance this side of heaven that would cover that expenditure.
Couldn't work as often as at the store as usual while he was sick. And he didn't just need the money for the extras.
Extras?
And they weren't really extras to him, you know. He was never gonna stop needing them. I knew that. It's not like cancer can break a nicotine habit. He's been smoking since he was 12, for Christ's sake.
How do you know that?
He told me.
Jesus, Jim.
The doctors kept asking me about it. I told them we didn't keep it in the house and there was no one who could get his hands on it. They knew, of course, but there wasn't anything they could do.
How could you? How the fuck could you? You might have eased his longing for a gulp from the bottle or a drag from a cigarette.
He
but you
smoked
didn't.
more than he drank. I wouldn't let him have too much.
It still reeks in here. How did you even get away with it?
I told him he'd been smoking in here so long, and so had his grandparents, and 3 or 4 generations before that, that you wouldn't be able to tell if someone had been smoking in here the day before.
Probably true.
Didn't want to buy it for him, you know. I asked him to stop, but he said he was going to go out as he had lived.
Fuck's sake. All that was missing was a blonde and a good suit. But I suppose he shouted at you.
You didn't always take it lying down. You knew how to answer back.
Certainly not until you exercised often enough.
You weren't trying to live with him.
No, I made sure of that.
That you did.
Yeah.
You never have been sorry very much. For me, or for anyone. Or for yourself, for that matter. Mom once said that you were born to take no prisoners.
Did she?
You inject cruelties into a conversation like you're dispensing a vaccine. Touch of sarcasm there, squirt of deprecation here. You're intelligent about it. I'll give you full credit. You are cruel. Never understood that.
It's very simple, actually. It's a form of power.
Dad was a master of it.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't convincing enough. He got too emotional. You could always see the fear in his eyes after he insulted you. It was never totally below the surface. To be really cruel, you have to be rational, controlled. Otherwise, no one will actually believe you are in control. If they see your fear, they might start to forgive you.
Going upstairs.
Hey, go ahead.
she was willing to share it.
She might be if you were willing to be a friend to her.
Me and Jennifer were never really friends. Sisters, but not friends.
You're a part of this place. Child, darling, whether you wish it or no. You know that or you would not have come home.
You're right, it's not like we had any place else to go.
And you didn't have anyone else you could stay with?
I was never really good at keeping friends. Making them, not keeping them.
Your friends are here, Matilda, at home.
I don't see it. Everybody's gone except Jen. And you, I suppose.
You're from this house, yes.
Mind you, I'm not complaining. If Dad was here, I certainly wouldn't be.
It's really tended to have that effect on people. After the first flush of charm, at any rate.
You thought he was charming?
I was the devil himself, and in much the same way.
What do you mean?
He'd charm your soul away from you, not show you the hairy side of his skin until afterwards.
Werewolves were supposed to have hair that grows on the inside of their skin.
Well, at any rate, you get my point.
I didn't know you were allowed to talk like that.
Well, you didn't really. It would not have been appropriate to speak so to a child.
I thought people in your time weren't allowed to, or ladies did.
Well, we did think it, believe me. That, my dear, is one of the advantages of surviving into another age. Your speech made me liberated.
So if I became a ghost and stayed here, would I be able to see what would happen over the next 100 years and then comment on it?
But of course.
Why do you think?
No, I stayed because I love this place. But I think I told you that once before.
Yeah, you did. After Grandpa died. I always thought you would stay too and start appearing to us, but that was never really surprised when you didn't. I just wanted to know what the difference was.
How long are you planning to stay here?
I don't know. Jennifer will probably want me out as soon as possible, that's for sure.
Don't let Jennifer push you out.
Don't worry, she won't. I can't imagine why not. It's not like there's any point in staying here. We're gonna drive each other up the wall.
She's tired. She wants you here no matter what she convinces herself that she's living.
I think I'm trying to mooch off of her.
She's lived too long on the wages of martyrdom.
Oh, melodramatic.
This way, I'm Victorian.
Yeah. I noticed.
It's all through fine till the morning. Remember, even dreams can sometimes show the truth, my dear. Watch it, the floor is wet.
Do you have any cream?
Oh, I never read it.
Oh yeah, right, I don't like it.
Use utter jam.
Oh my gosh. Cold in here. Do you think you can turn the heat up?
I never said it above 63 degrees. I don't want the furnace to come on when I'm shower. You'll freeze. Wear layers. The heating oil is too expensive.
I got listed with an oil furnace.
You don't. It's not getting any cheaper.
Oh, and what about coffee filters?
Forgot to get any. I cut back on my coffee, you know.
Oh, I did, actually. Do you think you could pick some up?
I'll see if we have any.
What? The store doesn't have coffee filters?
You never know what Larry will have in stock. Half the time he doesn't know what we have and what we don't.
No wonder he can barely stay in business.
Everyone needs a convenience store.
Yeah, but that idea operates under the consumer's assumption the place has stuff to sell.
And believe me, we have stuff. And whether you want to buy some of this stuff, you want to dark.
It's 12:30. I was on a plane for 5 hours yesterday.
Thought you said you weren't tired yesterday.
Well, I wasn't exactly bursting with energy either.
Apparently not.
Just trying to figure a way to get out there and start doing something again. It'll take some time, but I can split the groceries. I can even do the shopping if you want.
How?
I'll borrow the car.
I usually do the shopping at the store. It's cheaper.
We can't eat out of a convenience store.
Believe me, you nearly can't. Besides, it's not all chips in there.
Maybe you can eat out of the understocked and frequently overdue shelves of Larry's Corner Store, but I can't. I'll cook for both of us. You won't have to worry about it.
You know what I normally eat anyway.
Jen, I think I remember well enough what you like to eat.
You didn't remember about the cream cheese.
For God's sake, I forgot about the cream cheese. That's one food out of several million.
To the best of my knowledge, your culinary expertise doesn't extend past mac and cheese and toast.
That's changed.
You do not have to cook for me.
Jen, I'm offering you an awesome deal here. I will split the groceries just like any halfway decent housemate would. I will do the shopping, and I will cook all of your meals. Most people would be thrilled.
I can manage fine.
I'm not saying you can't, it's just a lot with all the housework.
Don't mind the work.
That's not my point, it just doesn't seem fair.
You arrive here, uninvited, out of the blue, 8 weeks after the funeral. No, that isn't fair. Then you just show up here at your own convenience.
It's not convenient. I lost my job. Do you think that's convenient? Do you think I wanted to come back here? Believe me, I had no desire to come back here, despite whatever martyrdom you might have signed yourself up
I
for.
didn't sign myself for martyrdom. I stayed here because it was right.
Was it? Really?
Dad needed me.
Don't you think it's a little extraordinary that Dad never needed you before in his life until he found out he was dying? He was bugging you for 4 years to move out of this house.
He didn't really want me to move out.
But then, once he found out he was sick, there you were. The indispensable Jen. Always dutiful, always responsible.
He asked me. I didn't automatically say yes.
And unlike the professionals, you are completely free.
He's perfectly capable of taking care of me.
That's not my point.
Then what is?
Can you honestly tell me that you weren't exhausted? That he didn't drive you crazy?
He just wanted to be here. He wanted to die here instead of in some sterile hospital. Completely understandable.
Yeah, well that's not what I'm talking about.
I don't even think you could have denied it.
Think again.
I have no doubt that you hated Dad. You did everything you could to show that in the most dramatic way possible. But you didn't hate him that much, Tilly.
Don't call me Tilly.
Call me Tilly if I want. I'll call you that since you were born.
Couldn't you talk when I was born?
Yeah, which is why I called you Tilly.
For fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake, what?
Why are we even arguing about this? I just wanted to figure out what we were going to do with the groceries.
And I told you what I wanted.
Yeah, well, it's not just about what you
And then
want. I live here too
You
now.
went off on a tangent about Dad,
Yeah, because you started coming in about me coming home at my convenience.
which you did.
Like I said, losing my job was not convenient.
Neither was your coming here.
Like I also said, I didn't want to come here.
You shouldn't have come then.
Thought it was the right thing to do.
Was it?
What?
Well,
I mean, it's a little late to do anything about it now. I mean, I don't know. I'm redirecting my stuff here.
you could have it redirected. If you didn't want me to sell the stuff, you could have told me. You could have asked if we had enough money. You could have called to see how Dad was doing. You could have asked if the house was still standing. For all I knew, you had forgotten we existed or fallen off a cliff.
Or someone would have informed you if I'd fallen off a cliff, or if I developed amnesia. Believe me, I'm starting to wish I had.
It wouldn't make much of a difference.
Why are you so angry about it?
Because you should have come home. Or called. Or something.
And would you have been happy to hear from me? I doubt it.
You don't know.
Judging by your behavior, I'm pretty much right.
You shouldn't assume you have a responsibility.
A responsibility to what?
As a member of this family, to act like a member of it instead of fucking off to the other side of the country and pretending we don't exist.
Oh yeah, and you did a great job of keeping in touch.
At least I tried to do something for this place.
Well, you're doing a great job now. You've given me a great welcome. So glad you're home, Matilda. Your room has been stripped of all of its furnishings. It's as cold as an igloo in here. There are no groceries in the house, and I don't actually want your help, no matter how much you offer. And even though you have half ownership of this house, you don't actually have a right to live here, because you haven't for a while.
could always hold his own against Dad anyway.
Oh, I don't like it. It's not normal.
It isn't here.
No, that's the problem. You and Dad, maybe Mom too, you acted like it was normal to be debating each other all the time. It's like living in a dog fight. Let's see who can tear who apart first. It's sick.
Well, it's a little late to do anything about it now, isn't it?
Oh, this is such a waste of time. I have to go to work in an hour.
Did you at least eat breakfast?
Of course I had breakfast.
What time did you get up?
7.
Ah, you don't have to work till 2.
I don't know, habit, I guess. Wow, what time did you get up?
6:30. Used to go for a run.
Since when do you run?
College.
You never did it on break.
Yeah, I did. I just never woke up early enough to know. Got up even earlier then.
In college.
Yeah, sometimes I get only 3-4 hours of sleep.
Well, I know what that feels like.
You should learn to sleep in when you get a chance.
I have a lot to do around here. I spend all day cooped up in that store. I need all the time I can get somewhere else.
Even here.
I like here.
Really?
Yeah, I told you.
I'm gonna go make some coffee. Or tea, I guess. You want any?
No, we usually have it fresh at the store.
Okay. Okay. Sure you don't want any?
Yeah, I'm sure.
What are you reading?
Nothing. Just some old papers.
Are they Dad's?
No, they're mine for some stuff.
For stuff you sold. You haven't sold anything else of ours.
No, nothing like that. Just some old papers.
Okay.
Maybe I have time to make that sandwich before I leave.
Yeah, I think you do. You nearly have an hour still.
Yeah, I can always make something to bring with me.
Jen,
Yeah?
do you have weird dreams about when we were kids?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Stuff we did, memories.
I don't know, sometimes. Why?
Well, what are they? Your thing.
I don't know. Usually I have dreams about soccer games for some reason. They're always in the spring, so I'm thinking about the pussy balls and the witch hazel that I made. Then I do something to lose.
I didn't know you remembered that.
The soccer games?
No, the pussy willows next to the soccer field. You must have looked at them.
Yeah. What's crystal clear to me for some reason. The light's always got this clarity to it, like in a Vermeer painting. Better than crystal clear. Like it might stab you striking off the water in that brook.
God, that's stupid, bro. It was like 2 inches wide and I always managed to get soaked in it.
Always want too close to the edge.
And when the snow would be melting, before you knew it, I'd be up to my ankles in ice water.
Why'd you ask me about this stuff?
I don't know. Maybe because I'm home.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you remember Aunt Letty?
Aunt Letty?
Yeah.
Do I remember her?
Well, do you?
I couldn't see her. She was her
What?
invention, creation, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess she was.
You always wanted to skip rope with her. You made me hold one end while I held the other and control the rope for no one.
Not for no one. For an invisible person.
All right, invisible player. Why?
I had a dream about her last night.
Oh, see?
It was like a really lucid dream, but not lucid at the same time. Like, I was aware I was dreaming, but I wasn't. I can't remember.
What did she do?
Nothing. She just talked.
Oh, what? Skipping rope?
No, nothing like that.
dreamed about you last night, and now I'm seeing you while I'm awake. I've got to be fucking crazy.
Mind your language.
Oh my god.
Well, I don't really get that sort of verbiage in my living room.
I thought you always called it a parlor.
Well, one must adapt over time.
Oh, must one?
As far as it is possible, or preferable.
Father, I was like you before.
I know. I was a bit of a novelty.
You certainly are now.
Hardly. More like an old friend come back to visit. Although that's you, of course.
Me?
But yes, it's you who went away.
Hey, you disappeared.
It didn't vanish, Tilly.
Sure looked that way to me.
Well, you weren't looking. Don't you remember our conversation last night? But that wasn't about it.
I was asleep. I'm sure.
Matilda, if you set your mind back, I think you'll find that I told you explicitly that I wasn't dreaming, but yes.
Dreaming makes more sense. You don't make sense at all.
Well, things like you tend not to.
But you did. When I was a kid, you were normal to me. Like, you were special. In the sense of being different from everybody else, but it wasn't strange that you were here.
What I mean tend not to be strange to children.
Is that why you became invisible to me? Because I got older?
This may not only be invisible to children, not entirely.
You were in the room last night when I came home.
Yes.
I knew there was someone in the room. I thought I was imagining things because we were talking about dad and stuff. And it just
I
got
hope you
really-
will never go so far as to confuse my presence with your father's.
No, 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 of course not. You're very gentle, kind of flowery, like a kid, actually. Dad was like a black and purple cloud, thundercloud, I guess, but a lot darker, not as natural.
Not a very flattering description, I'm afraid.
It was like a combination of black licorice and whiskey and tobacco smoke.
He was a little too fond of all these things.
At least the licorice was harmless.
How would you describe your mother?
Why do you ask?
I'm curious.
Ice cream? Vanilla ice cream. And lemon sorbet in one dish. With bar chocolate on the side. Chanel number 5. 4th of July bunting. I always see that when I think of her for some reason. And tiger lilies. She loved those. And Madonna lilies too. And incense. And I don't want to talk about this.
That's all right.
Why are you here anyway?
To talk.
To talk?
Yes.
About what?
Well, just in general.
But why?
Well, why not?
But why now? I haven't seen you for years and years. I must have been 12 when I last saw you. At the latest.
Your mind's in the right place.
Now?
Appears to be you're able to see me again.
Nothing's happened to me. I haven't, I don't know. How do you get to see ghosts?
Well, you either can or can't. I don't know of any in between.
That doesn't answer my question.
Concern yourself with the ins and outs of it, dear. You're able to see me again, and now it's time to have a nice long chat. Would you like some coffee pie?
What?
It has pecans in it. I think I may have picked out most of the pecans, though.
That's okay. What did you want to talk to me about?
We have a lot to catch up on, I think.
But have you been here all the time?
Yes, I can't leave you now.
I guess I never thought about it.
You may have.
Well, if I did, I must have forgotten. But does that mean you
good to know.
Well, would you want to watch everything that the members of your household did? I know when to leave a room.
I suppose you do.
Well then,
I still don't understand
I still don't understand why.
why you're here. I haven't even tried to see you. I did, you know, after Mom died. I wanted to ask you. Well, I guess it was stupid. I tried a few times.
Wasn't the time, Matilda.
So you're here because you just want to talk.
Everyone needs someone to talk to.
I guess, but why me?
Jennifer can't see me.
No, she never has.
She's not the right sort, really. I'm frightened her.
Can't say you don't frighten me exactly, but you always really made her nervous. Like, she wanted me to say that I invented you. She still thinks that, by the way. But then, so did I.
She's not willing. Not now, anyhow.
Are you saying she might be in the future?
Perhaps. Did you remember what we spoke of last night?
I don't know.
David, dear.
Why can't you just tell me now?
It's still in your head, Matilda, if you concentrate.
You said you wanted to know how long I was staying. And then you said, don't let Jennifer push you out. Yeah, well, good advice, I suppose. She's certainly trying her hardest.
She doesn't want you to go, Matilda. What? She's falling apart at the seams, and she will most assuredly continue to fall apart if you go away again.
So this is what you wanted to talk about?
Matilda, look at this room.
Yeah?
Well, what do you see?
A radio, old furniture, sheer curtains, which are dirty, and so are the windows. You can barely see out of them. A clock, which is still on time. She must still wind it. Or do you?
You do stuff like that? What else do you notice?
Peeling paint, dust, sprinkly old rug, someone's bound to trip over it.
Your father said that for years.
I'm surprised you didn't move it when Dad was sick.
His bed was on top of it then, I think. But do you see my point?
That the room looks like crap,
That's one way of putting it.
that it's in shambles.
Very nearly.
Jen clearly can't keep up with the housework, and that I should do it for her.
With her is more what I had in mind.
Okay, with her. I'm not so sure I want to.
You're not planning on going anywhere, are you?
No, well, I can't exactly just. That is what you were trying to tell me last night. Am I staying? Am I going? Well, going is starting to look pretty appealing. Are you trying to trap me?
Well, I don't think I need to.
You're right. Not like there's any place else I can go.
It might be if you tried, but I don't think you want to.
Probably being stupid. I shouldn't have come back here. It's gonna drive me crazy if it hasn't already, and I've only been here one day.
You're not going crazy, Matilda. You're here for a reason.
Destiny?
Well, in a way, yes.
Laddie, as much as I used to enjoy romantic
This
ideas.
is your home, Matilda.
Yeah, well, if it is, this is the most messed up homecoming anyone could ever ask for. Jen doesn't want me here. I'm talking to a ghost, for Christ's sake.
You said you love this place, Matilda.
Yeah, but
You were truthful then?
I don't know.
Well, you're needed here, Matilda. That's all I wanted to say. You said that this place is falling down. You can fix it. You and Jennifer can fix it.
I'm pretty sure Jennifer does not appreciate any of my help.
Try.
I'm not so sure I feel like it.
Well, if you're forgiven by saying so, you're unlikely to keep friends if you turn your back on them.
That goes for family as well.
Your father never quite learned that lesson.
I know. He expected everything to be handed to him on a silver platter.
Your mother did, though. I think she meant to teach him.
God knows she was wasting her time.
Perhaps.
She should have known he was a lost cause.
Until the sins of your father being not those of the children.
But won't the iniquity of the father be visited upon his children? Isn't that in the Bible? probably. Wait, where are you going?
Hold on, I have things to do.
But will I be able to see you again?
If you want to.
If I want to.
Of course.
No, it's okay. I'm assuming you want green.
Yeah, it's in the canister on the counter, the Japanese people know.
The loose leaf stuff that's still there.
Yeah.
That stuff's been there since we were kids. Are you sure it's still good?
I refilled it.
Oh. I was starting to think your habits from the corner store were carrying over to home.
What the hell? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
I just lost my grip. My grip.
Sure you're okay?
Yeah, just I had water on my hands from filling the tea kettle.
Should dry them off properly.
Yeah, sorry.
Go sit down, I'll make the tea.
No, that's fine.
Sit down.
What the hell are you doing here?
Well, that was a dinner.
It's Chinese food.
I know. I've seen Jennifer eating it before. That's chicken with cheese.
Yes, yes it is.
General Gao's chicken. Who does General Gao?
I have no idea.
I have to look him up sometime. The encyclopedia.
Yeah, sure.
May I have this one for cookie?
Sure. All right. Well, just quick. I think Jen might be coming back. Okay.
And you don't want her to see a fortune cookie being consumed by thin air?
No, I'd rather not.
Hey, I want some more tea.
Oh, thanks.
I'm starving.
Yeah, well, how much do I owe you?
Or
The food, Jen.
nothing.
Jen.
I'm not going to talk about this.
Yeah, but just, I don't think
Look,
it's
I got
right.
General Gao's chicken.
Yeah, I saw. Do you want some?
No, but it's for you.
What are you going on about?
Peace offering.
Are you sure we need one?
Are you planning to keep fighting?
Maybe.
Just eat the chicken.
Just trying to be honest.
Can you pass the next vegetable, please?
Yes, sure. Look, you brought this up. I'm trying to be.
Just really don't want to continue like this.
Like what?
I can't live like this.
We always have.
And is that any reason to continue? Did you keep doing it with whoever you lived with in college and stuff?
Yeah, well, that's what you're taught. Methods of attack. Nope, it's always good to learn them early in this family.
Yeah, method of defense too.
Yeah, those too. Oh, I'll get it.
No, it's probably for me.
It's okay, I got it. Hello? May I ask who's calling? Okay. Jennifer, it's for you. Some guy named Peter. Didn't say why he was calling.
Take it.
What are you doing?
Just wanted to be part of dinner. I don't get champagne, you know.
You haven't been sampling my food, have you?
I haven't touched it.
Do you want another fortune cookie?
Yes, please.
You've had them before.
Oh, every time Jennifer gets Chinese food.
What, you steal her fortune cookies?
She usually gets more than one.
Oh, I think you might be coming back to be quiet.
I put out some more tea. What were you saying?
Who's that?
It was St. Sebastian's.
How do you know?
St. Seb's.
Oh, they still call me that?
Yeah.
Well, to church?
It's a while now.
Couldn't have been that long ago.
Well, I did hear.
Oh, you never told me.
You never asked.
Well, I'm just kind of surprised, that's all.
It was Mom's church, you know.
Yeah, she believed in it too. Not like her family. They didn't care if she acted Christian, so long as she was buried in a Catholic cemetery.
I'm not sure that's true. Well, cemetery part is. Her brothers were so angry.
That she wanted to be buried here?
They wanted her to be buried back in the family plot in Worcester.
Funeral out of their own church. She didn't really, I don't know, didn't believe she wanted to be buried here.
Yeah. I was always glad Dad kept her here, even if it was for the wrong reasons.
It was a really gorgeous funeral after all. Those Madonna lilies, they were everywhere. And the candles were blazing against the lilies and the gilt. You could smell them too, like, I mean, there was incense. It was heavier, but not as sweet. And they were like this perfume combined that like invaded your mind.
She was dressed in white too in that one dress she wore.
She hadn't died so close to Easter, we wouldn't have gotten any of those lilies. People brought them without being asked. She was so well liked.
Angel of the house, someone called her.
That was the last time I was in a church, I think. My mom's funeral. I always thought it was her church, not mine.
The priest was so nice to us then. Dad wasn't talking to the uncles and they weren't talking to him. Just the priests and the aunts. Sort of bad as their
Where's Dad buried?
the family plot, the family plot.
Good. I'm glad.
Kind of wish we could have buried him with Mom, but it didn't work out in the end somehow.
Separate beds were very in there.
What the hell? Sorry. What is with you tonight?
Looked like you were gonna drop it.
The only one who's dropped anything tonight is you.
Sorry, Jenna. Looked like you were gonna knock it over.
It's all right. Nothing got spilled. Where'd that fortune cookie go? I feel like they need one.
Oh, I don't know. To the floor.
Oh well. Since you're always going to visit around here, it's gonna be the black hole in the house somewhere.
I believe it. Here, have mine.
Thanks. No, you have it. I get Chinese often enough.
I'll take this to the trash then.
No, that's okay. I'll take it.
Jen, I'm all right. Letty.
Yes.
You're giving me a heart attack sometime. That wouldn't be so bad. What if anything comes with me? Try not to do things like that, okay? You almost scared Jen.
I believe it was you who almost scared Jennifer.
Whatever. I just don't want any disasters.
And you think I'm likely to provoke them?
No, of course not. Just try to keep the physical interventions to a minimum.
Very well.
Look, it's not like I don't want you around. Just sometimes startling.
Yes, I understand.
Told us sometimes have that effect. You're not kidding.
The tea's almost ready. What were you saying?
Oh! What?
Oh, I thought you said something.
No, well, I didn't say anything at all.
shouldn't swear so much, dear.
Why not? You stole my rice pudding.
Well, you should learn to share. Thought they incorporated that into your elementary education nowadays.
It's my pudding. For me, it's my treat.
But treats always taste best when shared.
Oh, sure.
Me too. I always shared my rice pudding with my brother.
I'm the only one who likes it. Jennifer doesn't like creamy things.
My nanny used to dish it out to us if we behaved ourselves all through supper on Sundays.
We didn't have an aunt. Mom made it for me.
Smooth and creamy and sweet with just a sprinkle of cinnamon on top.
You used to watch her make it. We would share the bowl between us. Dad and Jennifer never liked it.
Even with my brother, her served up in blue willow bowls with the Chinese lady on the bottom of mine. Edward's had a pagoda in the bottom of his, and we never got them mixed up.
She used to serve it warm too. It's nothing like this, but I don't really have time to make it myself.
When my brother threw a lump in my hair, I offered to share mine with him when he wasn't allowed it the next week.
Like hell you did. Even you weren't that angelic.
Well, perhaps it was 2 weeks later, and stop swearing.
Why?
This is indicative of coarseness and an ill temper.
Oh.
So I was taught in the nursery.
Can you believe it?
I do.
You hated Dad then.
Often I did, yes.
One of many.
I suspect so. Which saddens me because he was always a very lonely man, your father. Though he needed to be, he made an effort to be good-humored. He reminded me very much of my brother.
The rice pudding program.
Very same. Although my Edward was much more responsible, and he never drank, except for at dinner and for toasts.
My grandpa.
Only in his drinking habits, and the meticulousness of his dress. Your grandfather was a very kind man. Edward always acted as though he had a chronic ulcer eating away at his stomach. And perhaps it was a spleen.
I think it's stomachs that get ulcers.
Perhaps, but there's a strain of bad temper in this family that cannot be accounted for by physical ailments.
What? That meant to be a warning.
He didn't live very long, Edward. I think he put the blood vessels in his brain under too much stress.
Oh, that is a warning.
Well, you should be aware, I think.
Do you think I'm going to develop a case of chronic bad temper?
Well, you're arguing nonstop with your sister and you're acting defensive over your store-bought rice pudding.
For God's sake, have some if it's so important to you.
I wouldn't want to intrude.
I already have.
Do beg your pardon, Matilda.
Well, just ask next time.
Well, you shouldn't be so possessive over your material possessions, including food.
Did your nanny teach you that too?
No, the Sunday school teacher did. She taught me that unless you learn to control your physical appetites, you will never learn what you truly value or understand your purpose in the world.
I don't think rice pudding is the most dangerous indulgence you could have chosen.
No, but my point is you don't have to keep it all for yourself.
But I want it all for myself. I bought it for myself with my money.
See, you're being possessive.
I know I'm being possessive. I want to be possessive.
You will not lose, rather you'll gain. I know we're all human, but that
You're a
doesn't...
ghost. You don't even need to eat.
Who told you that?
Common knowledge.
But how do you know it? Besides, I didn't steal your rice pudding, I just didn't think you'd mind sharing some.
Letty, it is generally accepted that ghosts do not need to eat.
That doesn't mean you can't.
What?
Haven't you ever heard of the term soul food?
Well, yeah.
The custom, time-honored in many cultures of leaving food out for the souls of the dead.
Not in this culture.
That's because we're afraid. Afraid of the dead. It's half our trouble.
You can't be afraid of the dead.
Well, not of the dead per se. They are my own kind after all, but there are some amongst the dead I would be so eager to see again.
Is your brother lying?
Yes and no.
Why?
It's complex. He was bad-tempered, as I told you. Sometimes even cold, controlling in his habits, and stubborn to a fault. But for all his faults, he was my brother. We grew up together. I knew no one so well as him, and when he was gone, there was no one who remembered the same as me.
You still see him? You want to?
Not really.
What do you mean, not really?
Hold on, no, I can't answer that question.
What kind of question?
We've covered this.
Well, I must have forgotten.
You haven't.
No, I have.
I can't answer questions about where people go.
When they die, you mean?
No.
No, you can or no, you can't?
No, I can't.
Why not?
That is the poorest attempt at a bribe that I've seen in some time.
You won't give me a straight answer.
I can't. You know, take my word for it. It's all you have to go on. I know what's fit knowledge for a human and what's not, and so do you if you'd only listen to your conscience.
Hoping the pudding would shut it up, actually.
Why?
Sister?
She's lonely, Matilda.
When I'm not?
All the more reason.
No more reason to what?
To make things work. You said so yourself you have to if you're going to continue to live here.
Yeah, but
No buts about it. If you're going to continue to live in my house, you're going to have to catch things up with Jennifer. Refuse to listen to the ceaseless fighting day and night.
you do you?
Yes, endless face scratching and sniping. I won't have any of this nonstop arguing in my house.
Your house. You don't own this place.
Not on paper.
Damn right. Me and Jennifer have equal shares.
Okay, well let me ask you this. When were you born?
1985.
And what was I born? 1865 is the correct answer. We had the Civil War and it will help you remember. And who's lived in this house the longest? You suppose rightly, and as the longest and happy member of this household, I must tell you, you and your sister must learn to live together, amicably and soon. You're going to have to find someplace else to live.
What? This is our house. We own it.
It's my home too, Miss Matilda, and you and Jennifer must bend ways.
You can't make us move out.
Oh no?
No, you can't.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure, dear. Matilda?
Did you know about this?
Yes, I did.
Why didn't you tell me?
Should I have? It seems to me that was Jennifer's task.
She should have told me as soon as I came home. You should have told me. I should have been told, goddammit. I thought I was coming home. You said it yourself.
And so you have. But with some complications.
Complications?
Why do you think I told you you're needed here?
What am I supposed to do about this? 5 years of back taxes? You think I have the money for that?
In all honesty, doubt it.
You doubt rightly. I don't have it.
Nor the money for the mortgage, I suppose.
Right again.
This task requires more than money alone.
What do you suggest I use instead? Hope? My extraordinary mind-bending powers?
A little of both, I think.
Hello? Back.
Don't fly off the handle.
I may have to kill her.
People rarely kill their siblings, no matter how much they provoke them.
Oh no?
Hi. Who are you talking to?
What?
You were talking to someone.
No, I wasn't.
Were you on the phone?
No, I told you.
What's that? Is that from my desk?
No. Came in the mail today. From the town.
Oh, shit.
That's all you have to say? Oh, shit.
What would you like me to say?
What the hell are you up to? What do you mean? Why didn't you tell me?
I was going to.
When?
Soon?
How soon? How much time do you think we have? Do you think the town's going to wait?
No, I was just waiting to do it in the right way.
The right way?
Matilda, look, I know you're shocked, but can you just please...
No. I have been sitting down for the past hour reading through this stuff, trying to figure out how you got us into this mess.
Did you go on my desk?
Yes, obviously, and you got us in more trouble than I thought.
This is not my doing, Matilda, and you shouldn't have gone through my stuff.
Oh yeah? Whose fault is it then? You knew exactly what was going on, and you didn't raise a finger to stop it.
What could I do? You can't pay taxes with money you don't have.
The mortgage?
Which I didn't sign, as I think you can see if you actually look at the thing. And you still shouldn't have gone through my stuff.
You should have done something. Stopped him from signing it.
How could I have? Should I have torn the mortgage up before he could pick up his pen?
You should have done whatever was necessary.
Which is what you would have done, I suppose.
you should have done. It's what either of us should have done if either of us was put in that situation.
But since I was put in that situation and you weren't, I get all the blame.
Can you honestly tell me you didn't know where all of this was headed?
Did I say that?
I'd like to think you didn't see it, but I know you're not that slow.
No, I'm not.
Why?
Then why what?
I don't understand how you could let this happen.
What makes you think there was anything I could do?
You care nothing for this place.
How can you say
No, quite
that?
honestly, you were left here, you and Dad, and look what happens. No taxes paid, the house mortgaged to a hill, no way to borrow, and the town threatening to foreclose on us. Which it will, I hope you realize. Or do you think they're joking about all this? You went on and on last night about what it meant to be a part of this family.
I wasn't lying.
What were you doing? Spinning straw into gold? We were gonna lose.
We've been
everything.
losing for years.
146 years we have lived in this house. No one else has ever lived here. No one else who wasn't a Williams. And you're just gonna let it all go. Everything. Without even a gesture. Even a little bit of distress.
What kind of gesture? What's the point in kicking and screaming? That's what you'd like me to do, isn't it? Exit Williams sisters, screeching at the top of their lungs, dragged out by their heels.
Yeah, you could at least try
I
something.
suppose you think I should have wrapped my legs around the porch railing and refused to move?
You should have. You should have done that years ago. If you had, you wouldn't be in this hole.
So if we didn't have the taxes, do you think we'd have the money for the mortgage? We could barely afford to keep this house up. You can see that.
But we'd still have it.
We have a choice.
We don't. We haven't had a choice since Dad signed that mortgage.
We have a choice of what to do with it.
With the house? We're getting kicked out, Jen. Kicked out.
We don't have to. We could sell.
Sell?
And get a better price.
You've been planning this.
Had an offer.
From who?
This guy who works for a company in Norwich. They've offered a price that's more than fair. They've contacted me. I don't know if they found out about the foreclosure, but I don't know how they could have.
Who is he? The guy from the phone last night?
Yeah, well, it's not him. He's just a representative. It's the company.
What kind of company?
Development?
A developer?
Yes.
And have you given any idea to what they're going to do with this place once they get their hands on it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, let me go!
It's enough, Matilda.
Let me go, Letty!
What the hell?
I'm not letting you go till you have some control over yourself. Get her off me!
Get who off you?
Not Letty!
There's nobody there.
You could never see her, Jen.
This is not funny.
Does it look like I'm having fun to you?
What is the matter with you?
She won't let me go!
Who?
Not Letty, I told you!
Promise me you're not going to strike her again.
I promise, for God's sake, I'm not a little kid!
You're sure doing an excellent impression of one.
We're going mad.
So, this is a workshop production, so that's all we've got. But, if you want to know how it ends, I have it written down right here. So, grab one on your way out. Here you go.